creative friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making this Easter gift card holder box. So we'll be making the bottom, the top, and adding the scene to the top. Now I cut it out in different colors from what the SVG file is and what my original mock-up is, but this time we're going to do a blue box with a pink bunny. So first thing we want to do is make the base for our box. And what we do after we cut out the SVG files, we just want to fold everything along the score lines. Now, I also have a bone folder. If you have any kind of sharper, I shouldn't say sharp, but firm object that you can press the fold down, you can get a nice crease to your fold. So I'm just going to do this all the way around. Okay, then to make our box, we just use these tabs to add some glue and adhere it together. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a couple tips that I have for getting these to adhere well. So the first thing I do is I line them up and then I will just hold it just for a split second. My paper that I'm using has a little bit of shine, kind of not glitter, but a little bit of shine to it, which makes it a little slipperier. And so if you have a different type of paper, it might adhere faster, but actually that did really well. I then have these clips. They're for sewing. A lot of people use them when they are quilting, but I think they work fantastic for holding together glued paper pieces. And I'm going to hold it like that just for a little bit while I'm working on my other parts of my box to make sure that these edges are adhered really well. So I just press it with my fingers for a short amount of time. It just makes it adhere just slightly. And if you notice right there, I had originally glued it and it wasn't lined up well. So because it was a liquid glue, I had time to move it and then reposition it. And now I'm going to put those clips. So that is going to sit for just a few minutes. It doesn't even have to be that long, but it'll be a great time to put that aside and we can work on this portion. So the first thing I'm going to do here on the top is do the same thing by folding all the creases. But then I'm going to want to put my scene on first. So now just want to make sure these are all nicely folded. Now you want to be a little bit more careful with your tabs on the lid because they are smaller. They have to be smaller or you're going to see them behind the scallop. So they should not rip, but if you are folding them with extra force, you know, you just want to be a little bit more careful about that. Okay, so we want to do the same thing. Actually, no, sorry. We need to do our scene first. So I'm using this as a model. And with the scene, you can change it up any way you like, but I'll show you what we have. We have a back piece that we can line up behind the bunny, and that gives us our eyes and nose, and then we don't have to glue tiny little dots. It is also a little bit smaller than the colored part of the bunny, and that is so when you line them up, they're not like right on the edge and you potentially get a black line on the edge. I wanted it to be right behind. Now, if something happened with your black bunny or you didn't want to cut it, you really only need a piece of black to cover the back of the face. You could punch out a circle, cut out a circle, even cut like a rectangle square. You just need something to cover the back of the face. And then we've got some grass, and then we've got 3 Easter eggs. If you want to cut more eggs, you can. If you want to put them in different positions, I think I put them in different positions here because I ended up gluing my bunny a little off center, and so I just moved my eggs around, which didn't really matter. So what I want to do is put some glue on the back side of my black portion, my black bunny, and then we will turn it upside down to make sure we get it kind of lined up in the center. This will adhere well. Oh, but I got some glue coming out of the eyes. That will dry clear. You may want to make sure you have a glue that will dry clear. And I didn't mention this at the beginning. I did have these demos out. I've got different kinds of glue that you might want to use for your project, depending what you have in stock or in your craft room. You can use a glue stick, you can use a tape runner, you can use liquid glue. Any of them work. And the other thing I didn't mention when I had cut out, since I cut all these out off camera, I did pick some nice quality cardstock for my boxes because I wanted them to be sturdy. For these smaller pieces, I just used scraps. I had different colored scraps. They can be different colors than what the image shows on the file. You can use whatever colors you have, whatever paper you have, and again, you can cut out more bunnies, more eggs, anything you like to make your scene unique to how you want it. Okay, so now what I tend to do is I try to put my bunny, glue it up in the center as much as I can. So just try to line it up. And then we're just gonna place our eggs. Now I probably don't want the pink next to the pink. They are different pinks, but I think it might be nice to move them over. And I think that looks good. Let me just put this on to see if I like it. And I think that'll work great. I might move that pink one up, maybe just a little. Alrighty, so then just a little bit of liquid glue. I like to overlap a couple of my eggs. I think it makes the scene look just a little bit more realistic. Instead of having them just kind of like all lined up in a row. And then we want to make sure we don't put too much extra glue on these tiny little grass blades. Some of them are pretty thin, and we do want to get glue on each edge, but again, not like excess that it squirts out the sides. But another reason you want to have a clear type of glue. All right, so I am going to use an acrylic block to press down my scene. You can use a book or any type of heavy object that you have around. This doesn't really need to sit for any length of time, but I just want to make sure that it is not going to pop off. Okay, so now this should be enough time that this has been held together for long enough. I'm going to pull that off. Okay, now, and then we're going to use it for this side. So same thing applies to these edges. Again, these are smaller, so they are going to take a little bit more time to adhere. So I just want to push them together for a few seconds. Oopsie, it popped off there, but that was because I moved it. Okay. I should have done the two at the same time, so it didn't move. So let's do that again. And I'm just holding it for a few seconds until I can put these clips on. If you do leave the clips on too long, let's say overnight or even for an hour or more, you might get a little indentation, depending on the type of paper you're using. So it doesn't really have to be that long, but I think it's nice. I love the clips because then I don't have to sit here and hold it like this for an endless amount of time. So just enough, I'm pushing it together. Oh, that one popped, so I needed to hold it a little bit longer. And then we are going to put that right there. And we're gonna let that dry for, I'm gonna say 10 minutes. And so I'm gonna pause the video and then I will be back in about 10 minutes. Okay, I'm back about 10 minutes later and I've taken the clips off and it appears to be adhered pretty well. Now it is liquid and paper, or glue and paper, but it looks like it's secure. So now we've got our top and our bottom, and I wanted to show you how the gift card can fit in there really nice. We will put our lid on and look how adorable that is. The other thing I wanted to show you was if you wanted to do a little bit of fancier presentation, I took some of the traditional Easter basket grass and we can put it in the box, put our card on top and put our lid on. Isn't that adorable? So if you want to make these gift card boxes, the link to the file will be below in the comments. And if you have any questions about how to put this together, also leave me a comment and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you for watching.